Supposed to be a pretty nice day today. I hope you can spend a few moments outside at least. I'm gonna try somehow, I don't know how, but I will. I have nothing to return to today, but I did tell you last class that I was going to start getting some grades in the grade book for the third and final unit of this class. So I'm going to start by collecting your intervals, page 14 for today. So if you will tear that out of your training book and make sure your name is on it somewhere, I'll pick that up and I'll look at it for a grade and give it back to you next class.
Page 14, correct?
Yeah, page 14. Should be on focusing on major and minor sevenths, I believe. Yes. Yes. Yes, that would be fine. That would be fine. All right, thank you. Thank you. All right, we have, today is, what is today? Today's Tuesday the 3rd. We have 2 more Tuesdays in this class after this. And in fact, not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after that, we're already going to be starting what I call the year training practice exam. It is something that's very similar format, just like the final exam. It has some similar types of problems and exercises and things on it that we're going to start 2 Tuesdays from now, and that'll be the last thing that we do right before we get to the final exam. So that'll hopefully be help you prepare for that as we get closer. All right, so let's go ahead and open our sightseeing books to page 31. Page 31, and I'd like to for us to sing Melody 315 together. Melody 315, that was assigned for today. And after we sing through it together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, perhaps we can treat it as a 4-voice canon, and even if we can't do it that many times, then maybe we can do a 2-voice canon. However we feel comfortable in terms of the number of people that we have singing per part. So 315 is in the key of D major. Okay, you know the drill. Let's go ahead and sing a D major scale first. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Do, mi, sol, mi, do. And that's right where we start for Melody 315. This is a conducting example. And let's sing it all together the first time through, and then we'll maybe divvy up into some parts. I don't want to take this one too slow just because we have several half notes and whole notes at the beginning. So how about a tempo of, ready, 1, 2, ready, and go. Do, re, mi, do, mi, fa, sol, do, ti, ti, do, sol. sure about my home just a little bit. Yeah, I knew I was getting a little high. I felt a little high that D. Okay. Let's do it one more time together. And then we'll go ahead and divide up. All right. One more time together, please. 1, 2, ready, and sing. Do, re, mi, do, mi, fa, sol, do, ti, ti, do, sol, mi, do, sol, sol, do. All right. I am going to volunteer myself. I'm going to take one of these parts for this 4-voice canon all by myself. So what we're going to have is we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 left to do three parts. How about, could I have, now this is going to be tricky. Well, you know what, let's do it. Let's do it as a 3-voice. Let's do it as a 3-voice canon, since we don't have too many people here. You 3 can be a group since you're sitting next to each other. You 4 can be a group. And I myself will be a group. And then we'll at least get 3 parts of imitation going on at once. And let me think here. 2 measures at a time. I'm trying to think. Okay, so let's do it this way so that we can all end together. I want this group, you guys are going to be the leaders. I want you to sing through the whole example, and then I want you to, how am I going to do this? Then I want you to sing the first line again, and I want you to end with the last measure of the first line. This group over here, I'd like you to sing through the whole melody as written. Then I'd like you to sing the first 2 measures one more time, and stop in measure 2. Second time around. And I think if I calculated that right, I think we're going to all end together. Okay, you are my leaders. I'll try to give everybody a clue. Obviously, you guys start when they get to the 3rd measure. All right, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and sing. Do, re, mi, do, mi, re, sol, do, re, You want to do it again? I'd like to do it one more time. And I'm not even going to go to the piano this time. I'm going to stay with the same pitch. Because I think we're pretty close. Can we switch? No, we better not switch the order because then you'll have to learn them. Do the exact same thing you did last time. One more time through. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do, re, mi, do, do, re, sol, do, re, sol, do, sol, finally, I know I mentioned this to you guys already before. You guys are probably in the midst of signing up for or registering or to getting your advising times going. But for those of you that will be taking or need to take Theory 2 and Aural Skills 2 next semester, the two sections of Theory 2 actually get combined, or Theory 1 that are this semester get combined into one section. Okay? So there's only going to be one section of Theory 2 in the spring. There are still going to be, as planned, there are still going to be two sections of Aural Skills 2. The two sections that we have of Aural Skills 1 do not get combined, but I have a feeling if the numbers are low enough, they certainly would try to combine them and bring everyone into one section. We'll just have to wait and see what the numbers are. Yes?
Are you the teacher for both Aural Skills 2 then?
That's right. I am. That's right. So yeah, Mrs. Dvorak, in the spring, she does not teach any Aural Skills. She teaches mostly her voice lessons. And she used to teach one of the Gen Ed music classes, and I don't know if she does anymore. But I think she's going to be mostly focusing on her voice students next semester. All right, good. Let's go. Can we go back in our books to page 9? I want to take a look at one rhythm so that we don't lose our touch on how to perform rhythms and we don't forget how to count these, and with the beat value being different than the quarter note, I don't want it to get confusing again. Back on page 9, I would like to go through as a class. Let's see, was this assigned yet today or not? No. This will be assigned for next class, but I'd like to sight read through rhythm 142. Rhythm 142. And as a reminder, as a reminder, I'll try to remind you every class. Your rhythmic quiz video, the last one, that's due Thursday, November 12th. So that is actually a week from this coming Thursday. So you've got a little time if you haven't sent me your rhythmic quiz video. And everything that you need for that should be assigned and posted on Canvas, and you can turn it in through Canvas. So, all right, rhythm 142. I don't need any pitches for this. Let's go ahead and sight read it. Remember here that the half note is the beat, because we're in 4/2 meter, and we're going to be tapping the quarter notes tempo. We're going to be tapping the quarter notes with our left hand throughout. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and read through rhythm 142. How about a tempo of 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 4, and 1, 2. Press. 1, and 4, and 1, and 3, and 4, and 1, 3. 1, and 2, 3, and 4. 1, 3. 2, and 3, 4, and 1. Just like that. I know sometimes if I just stone cold, come out of the blue and I look at a rhythm and I try to sight read it, sometimes it's not necessarily autopilot for me. So I figure if it's not autopilot for me, if you're just coming out of the blue and you're looking at it for the first time, it might not be autopilot for you either. And that's good, because we need to practice, we need to challenge ourselves every now and then to stay on our toes. So that we can work our way up to more challenging rhythms and more challenging melodies later. All right, one more page flip. If you go back to page 31, I'd like to take a look at, well, you know what? Let me just go ahead so I don't forget. I want to do the two melodies for the quiz, and then we'll take a look at some melodies assigned for next time. So the melodies I'd like to hear for today's quiz, just two melodies. They're short, they're only one line. It would be 316 and then 317. 316 and 317. So let me pause for just a moment here before I grab the bag and draw a name. I will take any volunteers if anyone wants to take 316. Which one would you like? 316. Would you like 317? Okay, good, wonderful. Then I don't need to draw names from the back. So 316, Lauren, could you tell me what key we're in there?
G major.
That's right, G major. I have to refresh my memory. If this is too low and if this is too high to start a scale, I can give you a completely different key. Do you see that low?
Yeah.
Okay. Can we start a G major scale then right there? Oh. Okay, we're going to keep that low. Now, do you know what syllable you start on for 316? So, yeah. So if your do was right here, can you find the sol down below that? All right, let me see if I can match it. Where was your do? It sounds like the do that you have. Now, can you go? Can you reach that sol down below? Okay. You're starting up here. And I just don't want you to get too high because it goes higher than that. Try this pitch. Can you see? Okay, now can you go down? Can you master that pitch? Okay, well, maybe I need to go up a little more. How about, I want it to be most comfortable for you if possible. How about we do this, try this key, and I won't make you sing the scale. So can you sing that do? Good. And can you sing this sol? It sounds a little stronger too. So we're gonna, let's see, this is hand signs. So you're gonna start sol, sol, sol. And this, yeah, this is hand signs, I said. Okay, yeah, you had a really good start, and then I think the do got moved, you moved the do. So we didn't quite stay in the same key. So that's one thing that I think you'll need to practice on, whether you want to come see me for help or see Micah, is that once you get set or established in a key, to somehow maintain, keep that tonic do so that it doesn't move, and then the other pitches hopefully will be relatively where they need to be along there, okay? So got to focus on, and I would recommend that you come visit me or come see Micah for a little help on that particular task right there. Staying and retaining do. Okay? All right, thank you. Let's go on to the next page, 317, and Tyler said he would take this one. What key are you in, Tyler?
A.
Yep, that's right. Let's try this range. This is an A. Can you start a scale there?
Do.
Good, yeah, sounds good.
Mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, mi, sol, mi, do.
And you start on the do. And yours is going to be conducting whenever remember you start on beat 4, it looks like here. A little higher for B. Good.
Do, do, ti, fa, sol, do, re, mi, sol, mi, re, do, ti, do.
Okay. Yeah, now I don't know if you can reach the high sol. I remember this one has a wide range, but it goes. Can you reach that?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I hear the whole thing maybe
Yes.
once more? Let's start with your. No, I think that's where it was. Yeah.
Do, mi, sol, do, mi, re, do, ti, la, sol, do, re, mi, sol, mi, re, do, ti, do.
Got it?
Do, ti, do.
Yeah. So after you do the high sol, where's me again? Yeah. Can you go from there?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Mi, sol, mi, re, do, ti, do.
And then it'll land you where you need to be. That's right. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't kidding, right? That's got a pretty wide range. All right, thank you very much. So no more quizzing out of this book today. Let's go to now a couple melodies. Yeah, a couple melodies that I'd like to look at for next time, just so that whoever gets drawn or whoever volunteers can be prepared. On page 32, we're going to go down to melody 321, and you can see that starting with melody 320, the melodies shift gears, they go into bass clef. So 321 is one we're going to look at, and then, I don't know if we have time, but, well, let's do 321 first, and then if we have time, we'll look at the one after that. So 321, 320, 322, all of those are all in the same key. What key is that?
C.
C major, that's right. Okay, one more time for a scale. Here we go.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Do, mi, sol, mi, do.
All right, let's do our best to sight read through melody 321, and then after that, yeah, I might try something a little different with 321, just for kicks. But let's sing it as normal first. Read it as written. Conducting. Okay, how about 1, 2, 3, 4.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, sol, la, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, do.
Yeah, just like that. Okay, let's do this. I don't know if I've ever, maybe I have done this with you. I don't remember. I used to do this once in a while with classes in past years, but can we just try, let's do this. Let's sing out loud, measure 1 and 3 and 5. But let's just conduct and see if we can listen to and hear in our minds silently measures 2, 4, and 6. Have I done this with you guys?
Maybe, I don't remember.
We You maybe did this one. All right, so this time that we're going to sing through 21, we're going to conduct everything, but we're only going to sing out loud the first, the third, and the fifth measure, and we're going to need to try to internally or mentally hear the odd or the even numbered measures, that is 2, 4, and 6. Okay, let's try it. See how it goes. I want to get the right pitch. Okay. So, sing out loud measures 1, 3, and 5. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do, re, mi. Listen. Mi, fa, sol. La, sol, fa, mi, re. Yeah. See, well, that's the idea, right? Even if we don't sing it, you can hear those pitches as they go by, because you're mentally, you've heard it before, you've sung it before, you know how that sounds. That's kind of the idea of aural imagery. Okay? Let's do one more thing with Melody 321, and then I think I'll move to ear training. There's probably not too many of these in here, but we'll give it a shot. For 321, we're going to sing through it, and we're going to sing only do, mi, and sol out loud when they appear. Only do, mi, and sol. Every other note, we're still going to listen for, we're going to conduct, we're going to assume that it's there, and then we're just going to come back in whenever we have do, mi, or sol. So in this particular key, C, E, G, these are the notes that we are singing out loud. Every other note we are silently hearing in our mind. Okay, let's try it that way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do, mi, 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 sol, do, sol, sol, mi, do. Yeah, that one's a little trickier. Yeah, so at the end it should just be sol, mi, do. Okay. I feel, if you can do something like that, you can certainly sing the melody as it's written. But every now and then, I like to do exercises like that because it forces you to hear things in the gaps. Forces you to hear things that you're not singing out loud, but you know are still there. And that can lead you through the measure until you have to sing another note out loud again. Okay. So that's probably good enough for sight singing. I'm going to shift gears to ear training out of the ear training book. And for ear training, I'd like you to open up in your books to page 42. And please let me know if you don't have that page left in your book. Page 42. You got it? Yeah. I'd like to look at number 12 on page 42. This is a melodic dictation. Looks like number 12 is in the key of E flat major. And there are 5 measures. And this is what I'd like to do with this melodic dictation. Just for slight variation, some slight change, I'm going to give you the first pitch in every measure. And then we're going to do the melodic dictation with that information in there. So I'm giving, the author probably gives you the first note anyways. I'm not sure. But I'm going to give you the first pitch in every measure. So when I play the melody, you're going to need to add one beat in here, the first measure, to fill that one out. You're going to need to add 2 beats in measure 2, 2 beats in measure 3, 2 beats in measure 4, and nothing in the last measure, because the last measure is complete. I'm going to call this a structural hearing example, because I'm giving you kind of like a general, an overall contour or shape to the melody, just the first notes in each measure. And I want to see how quickly you'll be able to hear the remaining notes that aren't written in here, knowing what the first pitch is in each measure. Okay? All right, so we're going to do E flat major scale. We're going to sing that first, and then I'll go to the piano and play this tune. Okay, let's do a scale first, and then we'll get to the tune itself. Ready? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, mi, sol, mi, do. Okay. Remember that in this chapter here, the melodies for dictation not only outline notes of the tonic triad, but also sometimes the melodies present larger leaps of fifths, sixths, and octaves. And we've actually gone through intervals of fifths and sixths now. The octave is the only one we haven't done, and we'll get to that probably, if not next class, then the class after that. Okay, so I've given you the first note of each measure. I'd like to play this melody only 3 times. See if you can fill in the missing notes within 3 hearings. Here's the first pitch. That's Do, and that's the one I've given you. It's the half note in the first measure. Okay, here's the first hearing. 1, 2, 3. There's your opening pitch, that's Do. Let's hear it a second time. 1, 2, 3. So I am going to play this melody, of course, one more time. A couple things I wanted to draw to your attention. You probably already recognize this, but how do the first notes of each measure that I have up here, how do they relate to each other?
It's do, mi, so, do.
Right? Don't they all belong to a tonic triad, an E flat major triad in this key? Okay. Well, that's kind of a nice relationship. Some of you, I'm sure, even though I haven't played it 3 times, some of you probably have already heard. I'd like to know, what is the last note in measure 1?
So.
So, that's right, very good. Now, I don't necessarily advocate or encourage intervallic hearing. I like students to be able to hear scale degrees and functions of scale degrees in relation to other scale degrees, in relation to anchor scale degrees like do and so. I think that's a little better, a little more accurate for melodic dictation. But if you're getting good at intervallic listening, because we're doing intervals in this class also. Do, so. Can you hear that is? Can you hear that's a perfect fourth? So, do, do, do. Here comes the bride, right? You could check it that way. Do, so, mi. What is this interval here from sol to mi? Anybody?
The sixth.
Yeah, and you know what kind of sixth it is? Major or minor?
Major.
Yeah, it's a major sixth. Right? So, sol, mi. Did we go over the major sixth several classes ago? My body lies over the ocean. Or NBC, sol, mi. Doesn't that sound just like, you can check the intervallic hearing sometimes to be absolutely sure, to be crystal clear on some things. If you're not really sure, how low did this note go? What was this leap? How far away from this one is it? Things like that. It can be helpful if your mind, if your ears, if they work, think that way. Now, I don't necessarily advocate you do that for the entire melody, but maybe for a pitch here and there, you want to check it? Yeah. Use what you know. Okay. All right, let me play the whole thing one more time, and then we'll look at the rest of the melody. Okay, here's the tempo. 1, 2, 3. I think one of the best ways to get the notes of this melody, and there's not too many to fill in since I'm giving you the first of each measure, but one of the best ways is to listen for groups of notes that go together in some way, shape, or form. We just talked about, for instance, how the first notes of each measure, they actually all belong to the tonic triad do, mi, sol. In fact, the first 3 notes actually still also belong to the tonic triad do, mi, sol. But then after we get a few leaps, did you hear what kind of motion do we have after this mi right here? Is it stepwise or is it leaps?
Stepwise.
Yeah, it's step, okay? So you can take care of the next 2 notes pretty easily by computing this or hearing this whole measure as one piece of information. Do, sol, mi, re, do, right? You don't have to necessarily think about, oh wait, what was this note here? How does that relate to this note? What was this? I think if you hear these, all 3 notes of this measure just as one piece of information, mi, re, do, stepwise down. That's enough to get it, right? And then what kind of motion do we have after we jump up to this sol? Is it stepwise or is it leap?
Steps again.
Yeah, it steps again. That's right. Sol, fa, mi. And then, now, was this stepwise? No. What was this measure? How does that relate to it? Yeah.
It was do, so, mi.
Right, it's all the notes, it's descending arpeggiation of the tonic triad, okay? So I don't necessarily have to calculate, well, what was the leap from here to here? What was that interval? How far was it? No, if I can just hear the do, sol, mi, do, that'll take care of it. Okay? So, given this much, we talked about how to find and be certain about this leap, this downward leap here. We talked about how this is stepwise descending, this is stepwise descending to take care of these measures, and then this is just an arpeggiation of the tonic triad, do, sol, mi, do. And when you look at it, I mean, it's 5 measures, it's not a super long melody, but when you look at it in that light or in that way, I think it becomes a lot more manageable, it becomes a lot more approachable. It doesn't have to be so maybe daunting or intimidating, if it is at all to you. Because you've got a strategy, you've got a way to handle and take care of sections of this melody one at a time. All right, I'd like to try one more melody now without giving you any of the pitches. On page, do you have page 43, the next page?
Yes.
Okay. On page 43, I'd like to go through melody 17. Melody number 17. And I'll put that up here. It's in the bass clef, as you can see, and it's in the key of A major. And it's in 3-2. Oh. Well, the rhythm isn't going to be all that tough. Get anything more than the first note? No, just the first note. Okay. Yeah. A major. All right. Now, I'm not going to say that this melody is not exactly like this, but I think they're really similar in difficulty level. First of all, how many pitches in this E flat major melody? How many did not belong to the tonic triad? Just 2 pitches, right? That's it. I'll tell you right now that in this melody, only 2 notes, again, there's only 2 pitches in this entire melody that do not belong to the tonic triad. What are the 3 notes of the tonic triad in A major? And besides, I mean, I know it's do, mi, sol, but what are the pitch letter names? A, C sharp, E. That's the majority of your notes. There's only 2 pitches that are not A, C sharp, or E. Okay. We'll dispense with the scale. There's your first pitch. That's go in the bass clef. Here we go. How about a tempo of 1, 2, 3. When I play this melody in A major, even more so than the E flat major melody we just did, I find that this A flat or this A major melody is very disjunct or choppy. It seems like it's just all over the place. But it's certainly within our reach. It's not that difficult if you just trust and rely on the pitches A, C sharp, and E, or do, mi, sol. Let's hear it again. There's your first pitch Let's see how much we can get with one more hearing. Here's the the first pitch, and the last hearing. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's see how you did. It looked like a lot of you, if you weren't finished, you were getting the notes written in, which is fine, which means you had captured the information you needed, hopefully. Now, just so you know, this is in 3/2, so the majority of the notes are going to be half notes. But what happens if we have a note that lasts or counts for 2 beats in this melody? What note duration is it?
Whole note.
It's a whole note, that's right. So, the first measure was all arpeggiation. Do, sol, mi. And then it went up an octave. It didn't go down to do, which I kind of expected it would, but it didn't do that. So it went up an octave. Mi, re, do. And there's one of the notes that's not do, mi, or sol. Right there. I know it seems like it's going all over the place, and it kind of is, but it's still very, very doable, very dictatable. Okay? Then we had sol, do, do. Again, lots of big leaps. Just all tones of the tonic triad. And then what were the last 3 notes?
Mi, re, do.
That's right, mi, re, do. So here, just careful about the rhythm. Whole note, half note, dotted hole. Part of my goal to go through these is not only to get practice and experience, but also to show you that these melodies don't have to, you don't have to be too intimidated by them or listen to them and say, oh my goodness, this leaps all over the place. I can't even do this. No, these are very accessible. You just know what to listen for. All right, that's all the time we have for today, so let's stop here. And I'll see most of you tomorrow, I guess, for theory.